Alrighty, so just a quick Figma orientation in case this is the first time you're in Figma or if you're just feeling lost. Let me go through what we find in here. So at the top left here, you have the Figma catch-all menu, which contains everything you might ever need. And so if there's something I'm looking for and I can't find it, I always go up here, and you can even search here. So this is pretty good, like snap to grid. Okay, that's the setting, because it's kind of impossible to find these things unless you search. So yeah, that's the Figma menu. Very helpful when you're feeling lost. This is the toolbar where you choose what kind of thing you want to add. So move is just moving around here. This is where you add a frame, which is something we use quite a bit. This is where you add shapes, all these guys. And this is where you draw lines. So either a Bezier line like this, or the more free pencil, which I typically just use to like illustrate a point or something. And then text tool. And then this guy is like components and plugins and widgets. I don't use that very much. This guy, I don't even know what it does. A hand tool, I have no idea. And the comment tool, which is when you want to ask me something, you just press this guy and write a comment. Up here, you have the name of the file, and you can move the file to a different place by move to project, something like that, or you can delete it. And up here, when you work with things, you're going to see that it changes contextually, which is a little interesting. So if you're working with two shapes here, now you have the join path tool up there. So just something to be aware of, that this will adapt as you work in Figma. Up here you have the multiplayer indicator, which is if somebody logs into this file or jumps into this file, you're going to see them up here. And the cool thing about that is that if you click on their avatar, you're going to be taken to wherever they are. So you'll be able to see and follow them along. So if I'm talking in Figma, you can press my avatar and you can follow along and see exactly what I see, which is quite nice when you're jamming on something or when somebody's giving a demo. You have the share dialog, of course, prototype preview button. We don't use that a ton, but you could. And yeah, that's the top bar. To the left here, you have the pages and layer panel. And so in Figma, you can have many pages, which is just, a new space over here where you can create different stuff. So maybe you will have like, okay, so this is the landing page, and maybe this is marketing material, and maybe this is social media. So you can just create different spaces for different things, entirely arbitrarily. And then down here, you have the layers list. So if you create some layers, some frames and things, they will show up here. And they can be nested as well. So we can put this rectangle inside this frame, and now you have a nested hierarchy. And this is very familiar to rerun users, of course. You can lock things and you can show and hide things. One thing to mention about the pages space here is that it can be collapsed. And so sometimes you come into a file and you're like, oh, I'm not seeing the thing. Where is it? Well, you have to expand this guy, and then you might find a gold mine of different pages which contain the interesting stuff. And so it's kind of weird that they've hidden this so well, because quite often I will like be lost in a file and then I expand this and find, oh, this is where all the good stuff is. But yeah, that's the sidebar. To the right, you have the selection view, and it will adapt to whatever you select. And you have the properties for size and maybe things like opacity and blend modes, fills, strokes, effects, and the export panel. And the export is something that you might be using quite a bit if you're just jumping into Figma to get some asset. So yeah, it's always, you just select the thing and it's down here. And I think that's it for Figma, the basic orientation. I hope you feel a little bit more at home right now.